everybody's favorite Money Making Mondays $100 SuperSize Sales Edition. I want to thank everybody who posts on Money Making Mondays. Without you, I couldn't do these videos. There would be no material. So thank you so much for posting and sharing your sales so that everybody can learn. If you are new here, welcome. And these sales come from my Facebook group, where every week we have a thread called Money Making Monday, and sellers can share what they sold, how much they sold it for, where they found it, how much they paid for it, and any other interesting commentary to help the whole group learn. So if you're not a member, you can join by clicking the link below to my Facebook group. The format is a little different. Some of you have mentioned that you like the split screen format, so we're going to go with that so you can see everything a little bit better. Okay, here we go. We always start off with honorable mentions, those sales that are close to $100. So we're going to start with Cindy Minders, who found this item at a thrift store for $8, sold the day after she listed it for full asking price. It is a vintage snowman blow mold, and it sold for $99. These sell all year, so don't think you have to list them in late November and December. They sell all year round. Next is Savannah Boone. She bought this at a yard sale for $1. It sold for full asking price of $99 in 2 months. It is a completed Bucilla Christmas 15-inch stocking, and it does have someone's name on it. Don't shy away from personalized items because somebody with that name might buy it, or if the person knows how to sew, they can remove that name and add a different one. So if it's a high quality item and it has personalization on it, either a name or initials or monogram, don't shy away from selling those. They will still sell. Okay, next up is Connie. She paid 62 cents at Goodwill, sold for $99.11 plus shipping in 2 weeks. This is a vintage 1986 Chosen Heart to Heart pink mini baby bear with working heartbeat. It sold for $99.11, and she only paid 62 cents for this item. And there's some commentary on this. Jennifer Jones asked why, as in, why did it sell for that much? And Connie said, I didn't know when I found him, but I have developed a knack for identifying unusual or older plush. This particular bear was very popular in the 80s, and I'm sure resulted in many emotional attachments. They are now hard to find, especially in good shape. This one is around 40 years old. So here we have that vintage item with nostalgia, and somebody's going to pay up for that if they really want it. The bottom line with reselling is an item is worth what someone will pay for it. And just because you wouldn't pay that doesn't mean nobody would. So keep that in mind when you are out looking for treasures. Okay, next is Suzanne Akers. She paid $3 at Goodwill, sold in 3 weeks to someone who had it as a child. This is a vintage book with light and play electronic dice, and that sold for $99.99. And there was some commentary on this. Joe Angela said, did you find this in the game section or with the books? Because it's kind of a hybrid of both. It's a book that lights up and could be a game too. And Suzanne said it was with the books. So another area that is full of high profit items. Okay, this is a fun one from Brian Rappaport. He said it was part of a big lot of old film I paid $1 each for back in March at an estate sale. Sold this lot of 5 for $100, and it went to a prop house in California. This is a lot of 5 Polaroid color pack land film, so Polaroid film cartridges. And he paid $1 each, so $5 investment, and it sold for $100. Okay, now we have Lori Farmer. She got this at Goodwill and paid under $1, sold in a couple of weeks. This is Seal of the Presbyterian Church completed cross stitch framed. It sold for $100. So if you're not looking at the needlework, stuff like this is out there. You can find it too. Now we have Sharon. She paid $4 at the Goodwill over the summer, listed for $115 yesterday, and it sold immediately. Snowflake Wooden Liberty Puzzle by Phil Lewis, round 137 pieces, $115. This is on my BOLO list, these Liberty puzzles. I keep seeing these popping up on Money Making Monday and the $100 sales. So they're out there and they're wooden and they're very high quality and they often come in shapes. So put that on your BOLO list if it's not already. Okay, next is Brian Rappaport with a knife. He said the third one sold this evening for $119.99, turned $5 into $320 in a few days. There's another knife set coming up, but this is a Cutco cleaver with the classic black handle, $119.99. And Cutco is definitely on my BOLO list. I did see some in my friend's kitchen in South Carolina, but I refrained from taking those to sell. She also had some of those green capped McCormick spice jars in her pantry. So it's like when I go to somebody's house, I can't turn off the eBay treasure hunt. I'm always looking around like, oh, did you know that's worth $100? Or did you know you could sell that for $250? And it's just, I guess, in my DNA. But Cutco is on my BOLO list. One day I'm going to find one. Okay, next is Graham Murray. Paid $6 at a thrift store, sold in a couple of months. This is a Logitech mouse. And there's some comments on this. I don't think I said what it sold for, $124.99. And Lara said, I use this mouse and I'll say, once you use it, you can't go back. The wired version must be getting hard to find. Luckily, I use wireless. And Ginger said, I'm shocked since it's corded. I've walked right by that before. No more. So let's go back and look at what it is. It is a Logitech optical mouse with the cord. So it's not wireless. Some people still want the older technology. So always look those things up. Okay, now we have Olivia who sold this item for $125. She said $7 at a thrift store, listed at $200 and sold for $125 in a week. I'm just trying to sell them rather than squeeze every dime I can out of them, as I live in a smallish space and they consume the lion's share of my storage shelf. This is a Fortunini City Walls nativity set. And again, that was $7 and sold for $125. Now we have Cheryl Brewer. She said, my first big sale in a long time. I listed this yesterday and it sold today on best offer for $115 plus $63 shipping to China. Paid $7.50 at a thrift store. I also have another listed in a slightly different shape. This is mid-century modern Japanese triple loop ikebana pottery. So it is a funky looking bud vase. And one thing about making these videos, I get thirsty. So I can talk better now. Next is DeVree Guyman. She said, purchase this at Goodwill for $4.99. It took 6 months to sell and is headed back to Utah. Fanimation jackets are fun to sell. I have another one around here somewhere that I need to list. Well, yeah, get that listed because this one sold for $125 and it only cost her $5. And it's just a cool looking sweater. I like that brand name, Fanimation, combination of fan and animation. That was very clever. So that was vintage 90s. $5 sold for $125. Okay, now we've got DeVry again. She said, I like to sell exercise equipment. This was new in the box at an estate sale for $5. It sold in a week of listing. This is an under the desk elliptical exercise machine. That is hilarious. That one gets the award for the funniest item in this video. Who would think that just this little pedal thing would be worth $125? She bought it for 5. So those quirky things, they're worth money. Look that stuff up. Okay, now we've got Lee Mowry. She paid $30 for this item, sold it for $130 in one day. I think I greatly underpriced it. And I'm going to agree with you on that because this looks like a pretty profitable collector's item. It is a vintage Dressel 3-way railroad train track switch lantern or ceiling light. That is a cool find. $30 sold for $130. Now we've got Ginger. She bought this at Goodwill for $4, sold in a few days for full asking price of $134.99 with free shipping. Cubic shipping with pirate ship for less than $10. That is a deal on shipping. When you have these heavy items, check out pirate ship, can really save you a lot of money. The item was 4 Scrubbing Bubbles automatic shower cleaner refills. I'm always looking for that Scrubbing Bubbles stuff. In fact, I found some of these funky looking toilet cleaners at a thrift store, and that'll be in my sales update video for November. But they sold within about a week for $70. And people want that old stuff. They just wait to change and they just cling to that old thing they like until they're forced to try something else. So Scrubbing Bubbles items can really be profitable. Okay, Jenny Baum. She paid $15 at a thrift store, took almost a year to sell. This is a Pamela McCoy faux fur coat, medium, winter, long Chilean Chinchilla stripe. Whew, that was a mouthful. And it sold for $135. So I'm wondering if that was vintage. I don't see that in her title, but that looks like a vintage item and very unique. So sometimes it does take a while for the right buyer to find it. Okay, now we have Shannon Matson, part of a 23 vintage nativity figures from an estate sale I bought for $18. I've already sold a couple, but these were the most valuable of the group. Took 6 months to sell. This is a vintage set of 3 wise men, German hand carved, $150. And again, that kind of stuff sells all year. I've noticed Shannon sells holiday items just all year round. She's very good at it. So this is just in line with what she normally does. Now we have Kay Phipps Batty. Got this in a box of new small toys and dolls for $20 for an entire box, so less than $1 each, sold on 7-day auction. This is a Bratz doll, vintage, hard to find, and it sold for $150. See, I didn't think Bratz dolls were worth anything, but apparently this one is. So again, she paid $1 and sold it for $150. Next up is Delynn Shelton. She got this vintage Pendleton sweater at a church thrift store for $5. Sold in 3 weeks for $179.99. Wow. Pendleton men's vintage sweater, zips, westernly brown western. And of course it's wool. So it says $159.99. I wonder if that's a typo or what happened on that, but she says it sold for $179.99. Still a great sale, regardless of which price it was. Okay, Amy paid $8 at a moving sale listed for 90 days. Vintage Christmas Carolers decoration plastic blow mold, $175. Those plastic blow molds are quite profitable. And they're not really that hard to ship. You would just need to telescope some boxes to fit them in there. but they're pretty lightweight. So we had these growing up. My dad would decorate our house and our yard like a used car lot. That's what he used to say. We have to have it look like a used car lot. And it did. It was pretty tacky, to use a popular Southern word. But I remember those. We had them in the basement, and I couldn't wait for them to come out every year and go in the front yard. Okay, we've got Kay again with a book, it looks like. Paid $5 at a garage sale. It took about 1 month to sell. This is Charmed Complete Series Book of Shadows, full size, limited edition, 49 DVD. So I think it's a book and a DVD, but $5 and sold for $190. And we've got Graham Murray with some baseball bats. Bought 6 bats for $180. These 2 sold in 48 hours. One sold for $199.99 and one for $149.99. Wow. I don't know anything about baseball bats. So those of you that do, check them out. Okay, here's Brian's other knife set. Paid $10 at a garage sale, sold for $199.99 in a few days. Cutco steak knife set of 8. Vintage brown and orange handle. So this is the holy grail of Cutco right here, if you find the entire set. And that's what Ginger said. Wow, that was a great find. And Brian said, I was shocked to find a set of Cutco knives for sure. It was about 9:30 in the morning too, so they had been open for a few hours. My lucky day, I guess. But that just goes to show you that everybody doesn't get there before you. There's always stuff you can still buy at estate sales, garage sales, thrift stores. You don't know what the people in front of you are looking for, or the people who got there ahead of you. You don't know what they want or what they know. So you just have to stay confident in your knowledge and keep learning, and you will find these things. They're out there. Okay, we've got Ken McNamara. He said, he paid $14 and sold this item for $224. Arguably the most hideous and monstrous of team mascots around, the New Haven Beasts of Connecticut, a minor league hockey team that went under in 1999. Sold this item in 8 hours to a buyer in Connecticut, found at a Goodwill in Colorado. And here's the item: vintage 90s Bauer New Haven Beasts minor league hockey jersey. He sold it for $224.71. And I think it is interesting how sports teams items show up in different states. Every time I sell something with a sports team on it, like a baseball cap or a t-shirt, it goes to a city that is not the city of that team, probably because wherever the team is from, that city is covered up with that merchandise. People who live in other places that are fans want those items. So if you sell sports items, comment on that. But I noticed that they go pretty much everywhere except for where that team is from. Okay, now we have Eileen Cole, the book lady. I found this first edition book at a thrift store for $1 and knew it was just a matter of waiting for the right buyer. I ran an auction several times, but no bites. Listed for $275 with best offer and accepted an offer of $200. This took a couple of months to sell. So the book is Dune 1965, Frank Hebert book edition, Chilton Book Company. And it says here $275, but she took an offer of $200, which is not a bad deal. And what did she say? Her investment was $1. So can't go wrong there. All right, it wouldn't be a $100 SuperSize sale without Casey Vetterly. $75 on half price day, final day at estate sale. Sadly, didn't work when I got home, so I sold it for $229, as is for parts. Would have gone for about $500 working, sold in about an hour. And this is an Iowa stereo cassette deck. I remember cassette decks, and showing my age on that one for sure, but I never had any 8-track tapes, so I'm not as old as some of you out there. Okay, we have Ken McNamara again. He paid $8, sold this for $305, found these sitting amongst the trinkets at a thrift store. Small, nondescript little ducks over 55 years old. Took 10 months to sell. These are 2 signed Yako Niemi for some long name that I'm not going to try to pronounce. 1965 Finland mallard ducks, rare. So they're just little glass ducks. And there's some conversation on this. Rachel said, were you familiar with the artist and maker already, or did you have to do some digging to find out about them? And Ken said he had never heard of the artist or glass company, but the sticker label and etched signature prompted curiosity to look up comps. And I've got some photos here of what was on that duck. These are from his listing, but you can see there it's got a little sticker on it with the glassmaker name, made in Finland, and then the etched information on there. So when you're out there and you see that just giant sea of glass trinkets, this kind of stuff is hiding in there. I mean, it's out there. Obviously, people are finding it, and it's a lot to look through. But if you're into this glass collectible stuff, it's just a matter of finding some markings on it. And this was really small. So what did he say paid for? $8. You know, for $8, you can take a risk on something like this and sell it for at least that much. If it doesn't work out, just buy it and do your research at home. So this stuff is out there. You just got to look for it. Next is Diana Duhan. She paid $51 at a thrift store and sold for a full price of $329.99 plus shipping after 10 months. My most profitable sale to date. This is Mapletown Vintage School and other characters and trains. It's just a lot of toys, but vintage. So 51 and sold it for $329.99, and her biggest sale. I love to see that. Okay, we have another one from KC, the Scrap Digger. No, KC is just, you need to follow him. He just knows what he's doing. He dug this piece out of the scrap metal bin at a recycling center. Honestly paid about $1 for it, as I pulled a huge pile of electronics out and paid $20 for everything. Sold in a week for about $350. And this is an amplifier. So $1, and he sold it for $350. Okay, we have our third place runner-up for this video, and it is Rachel Hilst. She paid $50 for this pottery piece on Facebook Marketplace. It sold in about 3 weeks. It's a 1980 Josie Gautier Singing River original magnolia flower. So it is a pottery piece. It's ceramic, and she paid $50 and it sold for $350. Congratulations. Okay, and our second place winner is Javri Guyman. She purchased 4 of these at a school district cafeteria overstock sale for $100 per unit. This is the second one to sell. We had to order double-walled large boxes to ship them in. So it is a commercial heavy-duty meat slicer, sold for $1,100 just for one. Congratulations on that sale. And our first place winner is Louis Prizzi. Purchased 23 of these at a barn sale for $120. Just sold my last 12 to one buyer for $189.95 each. They were listed for about 2 months. And Carol Kirk said on another group, there sure was a lot of conversation about this. Congrats and great sale. And Lewis said, yeah, lots of negativity about somebody else's success. I have no time for that. No kidding. Okay, the item was this Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Legacy Blister Pack, sold for $2,279.40. Wow, congratulations. I have never sold anything for that much, but someday I will. Okay, wow, congratulations, everybody. And thanks to all of you who post to Money Making Mondays. I wish I could include everybody in every video, but there's just so many entries now. It seems like every week it goes over 500. So that is a lot of information. And you can always go there and read through all of those posts yourself to learn even more. Thank you so much for watching and stopping by my channel. If you have any questions or comments, put those below. Have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.